Hey there, hope you're doing good. Let's continue refactoring Futurecam. The first task will be to rename light trail video mode by removing the word video from it, because there isn't a light trail photo mode. So you don't want too many qualifiers. It increases cognitive load, it makes it harder to remember the class name. We are not going to deal with the pbx proj file, that's part of Xcode. The name as seen in the UI can still be light trail video, because light trail is typically an image. If you do a Google search, you get only images, you don't get videos, if you see here. So our feature is unique. So if you go to Futurecam website, this is the light trail video mode. You see how it comes to life? It's a different feature. It's a better version of a light trail. So let's highlight it in the UI. Let's not change the Firebase name, because analytics queries become harder. Some of the old data before this refactoring would have the name light trail video mode. The new ones would have the name light trail mode. So let's not do that. You can do a global replace, but I want to check each of them before replacing. For example, we didn't change this. Alright, let's look at the diffs. We have removed this meaningless comment. I don't know why Xcode puts the file name. You know what the file name. Oh, we need to rename the file also. We'll do that. Ranting about Xcode has resulted in a benefit to the refactoring. That doesn't mean I'll rant more, but there you go. Modes. Light trail video mode becomes just light trail mode, since there isn't a light trail photo mode to disambiguate. Oops. Control W goes to the browser tab, not to the nested tab. If you hear any noise from the road, let me know. Sorry for that. I've kept the windows open because otherwise the sound resounds and becomes boomy, which we don't want. It should be in camera wrapper. So basically this class creates a video that plays back faster than reality. So if you are capturing a video and a person walks from one place to another in 10 seconds, in real life, in the video he may finish in a second. That's what it is. Let's be consistent. If you call it fast in one place and non-real time in another, people will wonder whether they are the same thing. Could non-real time also mean slow? You don't want this kind of confusion. Fast. Non-real time, those are 3 words. Fast is just 1 word. And this rolls off the tongue more easily. On the topic of renaming, let's rename frame blender to long exposure blender. So light trail mode also blends frames, but it doesn't use frame blender, which is an area of confusion. So let's resolve that. Long exposure mode blender. So long exposure itself offers different options, different blending modes within the long exposure mode. One of them is long exposure, one of them is art, one of them is dark trails, and so on. So this works for all of them. Oops. Okay, this is a static reference, that works. This should be lowercase. I think some of the other changes have the wrong case. Oh, these are static variables, so it's okay. And the name is current, it's not frame blender, so we're not changing the name. Okay, this one looks good. what's the variable called? Sometimes using the same name as the class helps. You don't have to think of another name. Like if you have a credit card processor class and you have an instance of it, credit card processor might be a good name for the instance. You probably don't need to get creative unless there are multiple processors and you need to distinguish them. Just try to reduce cognitive load. Name should be descriptive, of course, but sometimes a descriptive name can also be a class name. Oops. This time we are choosing a bigger name than before, but it's still descriptive. Only in long exposure mode, not light trail mode, despite light trail doing some blending too. All right. Yes. Define image protocol. I'm just wondering whether import foundation, you always have to have some import, or at least Xcode generates it. Maybe everyone is mindlessly following that. Represents an image, CI image, UI image, CG image. What are we searching for here? Extension CV pixel buffer. Do we even have this watermarking code? It's passed through everywhere, but if it is false to begin with, then the false gets passed through everywhere. Yeah, I think we can remove this code to make it easier. Anyway, I guess we can get to this later on. Let's concentrate on some practical benefit. Here we want to ensure that the size is not just reasonable but 4032 by 3024. Verify width equal to 4032 Sometimes due to bugs, lower resolution images are delivered by the imaging pipeline. Bugs either in our code or Apple's code, or poor documentation on the part of Apple, whatever. So we want to make sure that the photos being saved are the right resolution. I made a whole bunch of changes locally, and some of them need to be kind of reverted. I don't think we need to check UI image. Okay, we'll go step by step. Never mind. So all images ultimately are saved via a CG image. They may originate as an AV capture photo or CM sample buffer or CV pixel buffer or CI image, and there's a whole what do you call it, a whole pipeline, a whole flow. It gets converted from one format to another, but ultimately it ends up as a CG image before it's actually saved, and this is the saving code. So if you save here, if you check here, you are not saving low resolution or wrong resolution photos to the iPhone photo gallery. So this is like a verification on the output of the app. So if you have a complex system with an output, you can check that the output is correct, which in turn checks the complex system without having to check in 10 different places. And even if you were to check in 10 different places, you may not have the confidence that it is correct. Let's revert this. You can always recreate an interface, a protocol. Here what are we doing? Width and height. I don't know whether this is correct, because if it is a portrait mode, will it be 3024 by 4032? I don't know. It's okay, we don't need to commit. If anyone comes across these verifications failing, saying that it's actually 3024 by 4032, then it's trivial for them to fix the verification. They can say the higher of the two is 4032 and the lower of the two is 3024. Verify that still images saved to the photo library. This doesn't cover videos, this covers only images. You don't need to say still images. Images are always still. Should I keep these or should I remove them? A part of me wants to remove them. Let's keep them. Even though it doesn't trigger anymore when you have a complex graph, if you have a check only at the end and it triggers, it's hard for you to debug and find out where the problem originated. So let's keep this. Func verify 12MP. UI image. What's the file name? UI image plus Swift plus util.swift. Sorry. You have a CG image. Actually, you don't need to check here in the initializer, I guess, because you could create a UI image to display in the UI. That need not be full resolution. You have to check here, and you can remove this check because when the very next line, call cg image.save, which the first thing it does is checks. I think we should remove the watermarking code since it's disabled. We wanted to have watermarking as a marketing technique. Every user gets some free photos and videos, and after that they can pay. And we went back and forth on this. So the idea is that if someone finds a watermark annoying, they can always pay. Anyway, because this is a weaker check, it only checks that it's at least 3088 pixels, not that it is 4032 pixels. Here, what else can we remove? Yeah, we'll figure out what to do with this later. Now let's add that class that we, or that protocol that we added and then removed. Not CI image, image.swift. Protocol image func. Actually, let's do something else. Let's first remove the watermarking code. because it's disabled anyway. Oh, we can remove this dead code as well. Futurecam, like many products, has a lot of code that was coded up and then didn't work well. See, like causes a crash on iPhone 10. Oops. No longer watermarks. Now when you read this can be removed because there is a save function which of course saves. It also does other things than saving and watermarking, like rotating, so this comment is not accurate anyway. See how much cleaner it is. This entire mess has become one line. Oh, great. After replacing its metadata with the given one. Okay, diff time. This can be one line now. Hey, why do we have a blank line? So are we even using UIimage.save anymore? This was only called to UIimage.save. Let's check. .save replacement metadata. This is a pixel buffer, CG image, input photos and input UI images, CI image. This is a UIimage.save. Okay, we do have it. Okay, cool. No worries, we can keep it. Remove the code to watermark photos with the Futurecam logo and name since it's disabled anyway for two reasons. Crash on iPhone 10, bloating images to 100 megapixel. It should only be 12. Something is going wrong in the watermarking code that is causing it to be 100 megapixel, and obviously we don't want 100 megapixel images. Verify. Yeah, let's look for calls to verify reasonable resolution and see what we can do with them. Okay, verify that uint dot round extent dot width. So this is the width, you're rounding it, it's floating point for some weird reason. Or I can do something else. 4032 dot roughly equal this. And roughly equal is a floating point comparator that ignores an error of 0.1. So it's basically round and compare. Unexpected width in CI image dot save. This is 3024. Height, unexpected height in CI image dot save. So if you verify 12 MP in UI image dot save to detect. Actually, do we even need this? Yeah, because it is round tripping. No, but again, see, this is the flow. CI image dot save calls UI image dot save, which calls CG image dot save, and CG image dot save anyway checks that it's 12 megapixel. So and it's not that there's any more processing going on in between. You are creating this initializer which converts to CG image, then wraps to UI image. Oh, I think this should be rounded rather than truncated. Oh, it's just verify, never mind. So here you start with a CI image which you convert to a CG image, yeah, I should wonder why don't we just convert it to a UI image and save it? Because if you convert it to, sorry, we shouldn't convert it to a UI image, because see, I'll tell you how this code works. CI image dot save, CI image gets converted to CG image, which gets converted to UI image, which gets converted to CG image dot save, and then this gets saved. The first, this happens in the CI image safely initializer, and then when you call save, you are extracting the CG image anyway. So let's do this instead. Self and the extent. We can worry about this verify statement later on. In CI image dot save need not round trip to UI image. Instead of CI image, more of a description than the change, but that's okay. Now is UI image dot save used? No, there were two call sites. One of them, oh, it's still searching. One of them we removed just now, one of them we removed in an earlier commit. Yeah, this doesn't invoke any UI image. This calls CG image, this calls CG image. Awesome. The path is getting simpler. Remove unused UI image dot save. Yeah, this is the thing we had reverted, we had deleted and then reverted because we ended up making an unrelated change. So let's do this. This doesn't matter because we are not really saving it, we are just displaying it. This also doesn't matter because we are doing a more thorough check here. Oh, by the way, this link is broken. We need to switch to an Apple Tech Note. I don't know if it's still here. Nope. It is. Oh, it's in the local VS Code. When you find problems in code, fix them. Be an owner. If you are not, no one else will be. Because it's not that there's some other cleaner who will come and clean the code, right? All of us who are working on it need to clean it. This is just an unrelated change. Okay, but this is there. No need of an explanation. Yeah, we need to tackle this verify full dissolution. Let's do that. Verify full dissolution. So this code is too smart. It tries to access the device's resolution, but this is the same code we use in the capture path. So if this code is bad, the verification also will not work. So you don't want your verification code to be smart, you want it to be dumb. Like looking at this, I am not confident it will work. So you want to keep it so this is what we'll do. We'll do it in 2 stages. Verify 12 MP. Size.width and size.height is what we should verify. 4032 dot equals no roughly equal size.width dot save. Let's actually do it in save. Okay, never mind. We'll think about where to do it later on. (3024) is the height. Unexpected height. Burst saver. Verify 12 MP. This is good enough. Frame producer. Yeah, this is something we need to think about. So let's do it step by step again. So that's the advantage of keeping a function for now. Otherwise, you'll end up with a gigantic set of diffs like this. My god, this class name is so big. Though it's 100% descriptive, you couldn't come up with a more precise and objective name. This is what it is. It means either it's an AV capture photo or CM sample buffer. So it describes everything there is to be described about the class, which is unique in a name, right? Typically doesn't happen. And use it in burst saver, right? Actually, frame blender also we could use it. Frame blender. No, it's called long exposure blender. Verify full. Oh, we are not using it here. Okay. So this covers both the light trail mode and the time lapse mode. This covers the long exposure mode. Oh, actually, we can't do that. Hold on, I made a mistake. Time lapses need not be 12 megapixel. This is where I'm doing too many things at once. Long exposures. See, the 3 back cameras on an iPhone, the wide, tele and ultra wide are all 12 megapixels. The front camera is not, but long exposure blender does not use the front camera, it uses one of the back cameras. Burst uses the tele camera. So everything but light trail uses the one of the back cameras. So anyway. Hey, what happened to my message? I typed a message here. Does this gray color indicate no changes? Long exposure mode, blender and burst saver. These are details, the class names are implementation details. The concept is 2 of the 4 modes are covered, long exposure and burst modes. So with this commit, these 2 modes are going to work at the right resolution of 12 megapixels. Now let's look at light trail mode. The input here should be 12 megapixel. Extend dot. Lazy to write the code. Actually, sometimes like what I was about to do was copy paste some code, but I should refactor it into a helper function. Is there a roughly equal in CGRect? No. In any case, even if this function did exist, I wouldn't want to copy 2 rectangles I won't want to compare two rectangles, because when it fails I don't know which of the 4 parameters is different from the error message. So you want to check separately. You're checking the origin of the rectangle, then we'll check the width, then we'll check the height. Verify 4032 dot roughly equal extent dot, oh, it should be frame. Frame dot extent dot width. CG, hey, this is not CG image anymore. Unexpected origin in CI image dot for CI image. Unexpected origin in light trail mode. So here we are cropping it. So we need to check that it is 12 megapixel before cropping. So we are checking the input. CI image has unexpected, and keep the, maintain the convention, width in light trail mode. We don't need a named constant for 4032 because it can't change. 12 megapixel means 4032 by 3024. If you have something else like 6000 by something, that's not 12 megapixel anymore. So, and even if you have a named constant, it won't handle a future iPhone that hypothetically may have a 20 megapixel camera. So the named constant doesn't really help. Don't do things blindly. Yes, we are violating the DRY rule here, but I don't see any practical downside of violating it. So don't, design patterns are pragmatic, not dogmatic. Don't do something just because some book or style guide or tech lead says you should do it. All right. Origin, width and height. So now what have we achieved? In the earlier commit we have taken care that 2 modes have full resolution. Now we are checking this. What? Oh, code spaces. Yeah, we have called it in save. Actually, something else we should do. Why are we doing it this way? The buffer should verify. I'm not happy with this. Oh, it's the same class? Hold on. Oh, it's showing 3 files, one below another. Okay, never mind. Yes. So this is a burst saver. And the long exposure blender. This is fine, this verify call. Here we don't need to verify just before saving, let it save. So if you go to this gigantic class, oh, this is the local VS code. This should save, and burst saver need not do it. Like every class, every function should be self-contained. whatever save can do, save should do. Somebody else shouldn't have to come along and do it for them. So let's perhaps stage these two and commit them. The first two in the diff, I guess. We have added the thing here, yes. I wish I could just directly right click and commit these two rather than staging. Minor improvement. So now let's search for func save. Oh wait, still loading. Wait. Oh, this is in better magic, never mind. This one verifies 12 MB. This one calls CG image which verifies 12 MB. This one calls CG image which verifies 12 MB. This one verifies. This is the actual thing that is the most important check. Cool. So any image we save from this app is saved in 12 megapixel. But let's look at the processing in this video. In this commit, what we did was long exposure mode blender, even before processing, is verifying that it's 12 megapixel. Let's see what we can do in the burst capture. Isn't there a burst capturer or something? Burst recorder. So here when we get a image, we want to verify that, oh my god, processed, verify 12 MB. So this covers the burst mode. So if you think about it this way, I close Sublime. Capture, processing, saving. The saving part, so what are the goals? Where all do we want to check? When saving photos, irrespective of mode. When saving videos, for light trail mode should be 4032 by 3024. When saving videos for time lapse mode should be at least 3088 by this is in the, let's try to code this up right now. Let me minimize this VS Code. What are the diffs? Yeah. Add some verifications for 12 MB. In the light trail mode, do you have a save function? No, it's in, oh, okay, it's here. Save. No, this is the photo. Anyway, I think we have made more than enough commits so far, and we have a blank slate here. So let's end this video here and we'll resume in the next one.